I really appreciate those of you who don't have cabins showing up here today. I didn't realize that cabins were such a big thing here in this wonderful state of Minnesota.
Right? Me neither.
I mean, come on. It's big. Okay. Yeah. I didn't. So, anyway.
That's why I would rent it.
All right. Somehow we're going to start this little lovely service. And I'm going to start us off by telling you I'm Reverend Debbie. I am so pleased that those of us are here. The mission of this center is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a spiritual, positive approach to living. As we remember the one truth, that there is only one. That one is much more powerful, much more greater than we are, and yet we are it in its full display. And with that, I would like us to welcome back Carl and Victoria.
All right.
Hey, everybody. It's good to be here and see all your faces. So we're going to start the service here with a tune that I wrote with, Carl and I wrote, actually. So this tune, it's called Piercing the Veil. I wrote it just for this service. In the morning light, we gather here, hearts are open wide. There is nothing to fear. With every note, we rise and soar into the mystic. We'll explore, piercing the veil. We're free. One with the divine. Can't you see? Individual lights shining bright. God consciousness, pure delight. Within our souls there's a call so clear to connect and commune, to draw near. With every melody we find our way, breaking through the dark into the day. Pierce the veil, we're free. One with the divine. Can't you see? Individual lights shining bright. God consciousness all through the night. Pierce the veil, we're free. One with the divine, can't you see? Individual lights shining bright. God consciousness all through the night. As the music fades, we hold on tight, and knowing we're all stars in the night. With love and light, we end our song in God consciousness. We all belong.
And that is why we miss them so much when they're gone. Okay, time for a group reading. You ready? Please join me as we recognize the following. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and the presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. I am ready to be a transformative light in the world. Oh, and so that is. Let's get quiet for a second and center ourselves, shall we? And in this moment, I just take that conscious breath, knowing that there is just one divine essence, operating in, through, around, and as every individual. Every individual. And from that place of reminding myself of our true nature, I just say thank you. Thank you, just thank you for the opportunity to be together, for the opportunity to live and grow and shine and transform. Thank you for the opportunity to just be. And so it is. All right. And the one thing I tell people when they preside is to make sure you have a candle lighter. And who doesn't have a candle lighter today? Aha. Joan, would you come up and light the flames of faith with me? We are based on the knowledge that there are many paths to the one, but they're only the one. So this is our way of acknowledging some of the more traditional paths to the one. So we light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony, equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And now I invite each of us to take a moment and just recognize that flame within, that flame of new thought, the flame of self-empowerment, that part of us that just knows who and whose we are. Thank you. Thank you, Joan. I appreciate that. And then I am going to invite up our reader of the day, which will be Leif. Thank you.
Well, thank you. It's nice to be applauded before I even open my mouth. So good morning. I'm Leif Nestingen. I've been a practitioner here for quite a while. And I want to do this reading today. Joanne is talking about what blocks us from what stands in our way of of getting acquainted with the presence. And so I have a reading from the Science of Mind for this month. But before I do that, this is Memorial Day, and in recognition of what Memorial Day is all about, recognizing those who have given their lives in service to this country, and just those who have served. So I want to just take a moment to acknowledge that. And I would like to read this, it's kind of a classic for Memorial Day in Flanders Field. And so I'm going to read that, and then I will move on to our stuff for today. So this is by John McCrae. Sometimes these things touch me. I don't always expect it. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow. Between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. That mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely sing. The larks still bravely singing fly. scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunsets glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. If you from failing hand, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. I'm just in memory of those who have served. So Joanne's going to be talking about what stops us from connecting with, what stops us connecting with the divine, with our higher power. And our fellow who wrote the daily guides, the Reverend Ryan Alexander, talked a lot about fear in his monthly readings. And from my experience, that's sort of the guy that gets in my way of connecting with the divine. And so I'm just going to read his May 1st daily guide. It's titled The One Thing. And vulnerability lets in light. That from Adrian Posey. There is something within you beyond all doubt and fear. Something that has never... There is something within you beyond all doubt and fear. Something that has never been limited by your acts or destroyed by your feelings. This is the only something that can make you whole. And that from Ernest Holmes, The Thing Called You. My wife, and Ryan goes on and writes, my wife and I often play a game we call The One Thing. The one thing I don't want you to know about me right now. Okay, I will be honest. It's mostly her trying to play the game and me trying to change the subject. Nobody relates to that, I don't think. Isn't that just what we do? Being vulnerable is no walk in the park, especially when we are conditioned to hide all the things that challenge and scare us. Brené Brown defines vulnerability as a state of emotional exposure that comes with a certain degree of uncertainty. It involves a person's willingness to accept the emotional risk that comes from being open and willing to love and to be loved. Any attempt to explore the depths of ourselves and others, especially when we are unsure of the outcome, is a lesson in vulnerability. Born from our desire to live the fullest expression of ourselves. So what is the one thing I don't want you to know about me right now? Okay, I'll play along, but just this once. The one thing I don't want you to know is that I am anxious and afraid with a side of self-doubt. Thrown in for good measure. But you know what? That's okay. Each day is a new opportunity to explore these parts of ourselves we've kept hidden out of fear. Making peace with their existence is a part of the wholeness of life. The more we cultivate our willingness to be vulnerable and create space where others can do the same, the more we will experience the ultimate prize of vulnerability, true connection. So I am open to exploring the depths of myself and others in ways that support authenticity and connection. So.
Health, wholeness, and happiness. Health, wholeness, and happiness. Praise the good and raise the world with health, wholeness, and happiness. Wealth, wonder, and willingness. Wealth, wonder, and willingness. Praise the good and raise wealth, wonder, and willingness, love, laughter, and letting go, love, laughter, and letting go. Praise the good and raise the world with love, laughter, and letting go.
And now it's my pleasure to invite Reverend Joanne to come on up.
Thank you. Thank you for that great music and how appropriate for your veil song. That was great. Thank you, Leif, for the reading. So it is Memorial Day today, and I, looking through a few things, came across this poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, which I thought was lovely. He called it Decoration Day. Remember, it used to be Decoration Day, how many years ago? 60 years ago or something like that. And Memorial Day is the day that we honor those who died for their country. And I want to make a note that one of the words he uses in here a couple times is comrade. Now, comrade in this sense, he's just talking about a fellow soldier, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Sleep, comrades, sleep and rest on this field of the grounded arms, where foes no more molest, no sentries shot alarms. Ye have slept on the ground before and started to your feet at the cannon's sudden roar or the drum's redoubling beat. But in this camp of death, no sound your slumber breaks. Here no fevered breath, no wound that bleeds and aches. All is repose and peace. Untrampled lies the sod. The shouts of battle cease. It is the truce of God. Rest, comrades, rest and sleep. The thoughts of men shall be as sentinels to keep your rest from danger free. Your silent tents of green we deck with fragrant flowers. Yours has the suffering been, the memory shall be ours. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. He had a way with words, didn't he? So, back on track with our Into the Mystic theme that we've been talking about this month. And again, we're talking about getting through that veil that we put up. And that veil keeps us from the good, from that light that created everything and everyone that is available to us. That light is within us. And sometimes we build up that veil and we can't get through. We do it ourselves. It's available to us all the time. So that's what we're talking about, piercing that veil, getting in touch with that power within, and living our lives more fully. There's a New Thought singer and songwriter. Her name is Cerise Patron. And she wrote a song, but I'm just going to read one part of what she wrote. I am one with my source of all abundant good. This? Ah, not necessary, but okay. Let me start over with Cerise Patron's words. She says, I am one with my source of all abundant good. So in touch, all of the ancient truths are understood. I've released all the stuff that got my life off track. Now my chakras are aligned. Nothing can hold me back. What a nice place to be, getting those chakras lined up. An affirmation for today I'd like to share with you that I think might set the tone here. As I intentionally court the divine presence, I pierce the veil of separation and experience myself as an individualized center of God consciousness. I am one with the power of God, and it flows through me now. It is the presence of my real and true self. I am forever one with life. I am forever one with love. And I just repeat that. I pierce the veil of separation. So what is that? What is that veil of separation? A lot of it has to do with the way we think of our lives as, what's solid, our flesh and our blood and our emotions and, what we go through every day. That's kind of what we're, causes the difficulty, because we're so, this is who I am, and we kind of forget about that light which is in everyone and gives us the power to do anything we want to change our life, change our thinking, change our life. So this is how we are thinking about what is keeping us from the good in our life. And we know the bodily stuff is real. We know our minds and our bodies and our circumstances and our experience, they're real on this level, but there's so much more to us. We forget about that so often. We have that light inside that we can use. We have bodies, but we're not our bodies. Our bodies have different conditions. We might be healthy, we might be sick, we might be rested, we might be tired. That has nothing to do with the real self, capital R, capital S, real self. We've got our minds, but we are not our minds. These minds we have, we sometimes call them monkey minds. They go here and there and everywhere, and sometimes we think we don't have control over them. We do have control over them. We are not our minds. The real you, capital R, capital Y, real you, is beyond your mind. And then we've got emotions, but we're not our emotions. Sometimes we get mixed up. We think that's who we are. It just kind of takes hold of us. We're not our emotions. Our emotions may fluctuate, but the true nature, capital T, capital N, doesn't change. We can go to that part of us that never changes. And Leif was referring to that in his reading this morning. We can experience conditions, and we might like some of them, we might not like some of them, but they never really touch that true self, capital T, capital S. And I remember reading in one of the first chapters of Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind textbook, and he uses some kind of expression like, there's a part of us inside that has never been violated. Man, that touched me, because when you think about certain people that have been violated in various ways, and yet there's a part of all of us that has never been violated. That's that inner light within us. And when we think, just when we're concentrating on what's our body and what's going on in our life and our circumstances, we're making that veil even tighter and harder to penetrate. When we get caught up in our day-to-day life, Charles Fillmore, who's the guy that started the Unity movement, says, "We see only form and make God a personal being located in a city of dimensions. This belief of separateness leads to ignorance, because all intelligence is derived from the one divine mind, and when the soul thinks of itself as something alone, it cuts itself off in consciousness from the font of inspiration. When we believe ourselves to be separate from our source, we lose sight of divine harmony." So we think about this path to become a mystic, the path that we're talking about this month. And it's progress, it's not perfection. You know, we're never going to be perfect at it, but the idea is to keep opening ourselves up, keep piercing that veil to get in touch with that power within. You might remember the story about a group of people, we'll call them a group of seekers, that were off to see the mystics. You know, they wanted to see the mystics. They thought that would solve all their problems in life. So they go off in this arduous journey, and finally they get to the point where they can see in the distance, they can see these robed figures, and they're like, oh boy, we're just about there. We're going to get ours when we get up to these mystics. And so they get closer, but as they get closer to this table, they look at these robes and they're empty. They're, whoa, what's up with that? But the idea is that the travelers realized that they were to put on these robes. And because of their arduous journey, because of the things they learned on the way, let's say they had to learn who the leader was, who the follower was, when they rest, when they move, what they do, what they eat, whatever decisions they had to make, whatever difficulties they had to overcome, that prepared them to be the mystics that they were seeking. So it's the same way with us. You know, when we are attempting to be at one with our inner self, that God stuff, that God light within, a lot of it depends on our journey, you know, our ups and downs. That makes us who we are, and it opens the way for us to be open to that light. So sometimes people that go on this journey experience something we call fasting. And, you know, fasting when you don't eat. Jesus did it. A lot of the people that followed him did it. That was it, and it's still, I think, practiced in a lot of situations. Actually, I'm doing this, what they call intermittent fasting. I don't do it for a spiritual reason, but it's really helped me, and I'll talk to you more about it just as a health tool. Where I don't eat after my last meal of the day. Like if I eat at 4:30, 5 o'clock, then I don't eat again until the next day. Well, I'm the kind of person, I don't like to eat in the morning anyway. So I, you know, sometimes go from 5:30 in the evening till 10:30 the next morning. That's a long time for your body to be able to do whatever it's supposed to do without stuffing food into it. And what I find wonderful about this experience, I didn't plan to tell you this today, but it's coming out, is that my biggest difficulty with eating has always been after supper. Yeah, I get done with supper, sit down and think, well, now what can I eat? You know, trip to the kitchen. Well, I ate that. That was okay, but it didn't really satisfy. I'm going to go back. You know, how about just a little dish of caramel corn? How about a little, well, you know, once I have a dish of the cereal, I'm good. You know, but by this time, you know, how many calories have I added? How much have I bogged my body down? How much more does my body have to deal with during the night? So once I made a decision, set an intention, to not do that, it doesn't bother me at all. It's like our prisoners. We ask them, how was that? They go to prison, they're heavy smokers, they go into prison, they can't smoke. And they say, well, it's not too bad because you know you can't. So we don't. Unfortunately, Leif says to them, well, how many of you are going to smoke as soon as you get up? Oh, 2/3 of them raise their hand. We're like, oh my gosh. But the point is that fasting is one of the things that we do, some people do spiritually to make their lives richer, to get in touch with that power within. So this morning I want to think about not so much fasting from food, but fasting from other things and feasting on something else. So I'm just going to share some of these ideas right here. Fast from judging yourself and others. Feast on the great I am dwelling in you and in others. Fast from the apparent darkness. Feast on the reality of light. Fast from pessimism, feast on optimism. Fast from thoughts of illness, feast on the wholeness that is God. Fast from anger, feast on understanding. Fast from worry, feast on divine providence. Fast from unrelenting pressures, feast on unceasing power. Fast from complaining, feast on appreciation. Fast from hostility, feast on non-resistance. Fast from bitterness, feast on forgiveness. Fast from ego, and feast on love. One of the nicest writings that I remember seeing, particularly in the New Thought area, is Emmett Fox. He's a pioneer of New Thought, and he writes this paragraph, which I think is just beautiful regarding love. He says, "There's no difficulty enough love will not conquer. No disease that enough love will not heal. No door that enough love will not open. No gulf that enough love will not bridge. No wall that enough love will not throw down. No sin that enough love will not redeem. Makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how hopeless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you could love enough, you would be the happiest, most powerful being in the world." Those nice words by Emmett Fox. As we close today, I want to kind of walk you through a guided meditation about being lovable personally in your own world. And so I'm going to suggest, if you would, just to be open to being in a state of meditation here. And when we do this, I like to remind you that we are in a sea of love here. You are in a sea of love. That's all that's here, surrounding you. You are basking in God's love and the love of others. And so first of all, let's just take a deep breath and just relax into that perfect love that's always available to us. And I want you to think a part of yourself that you might think is unlovable. Maybe it's a trait. Maybe you got a temper, and that's unlovable in you. Maybe you don't like certain parts of your body. They're unlovable to you. Whatever it is, think of what part of you might consider as unlovable. And now let's become willing to let that particular idea bask in this lovingness that we're all part of, this sea of love. Just know that it has no power over us. It is not evil. And we can simply surround it with love and just let it go to wherever it needs to be served, to serve. Just let it go. And then think about an experience in your life that seems unlovable. And I think we've all had them. Something that sometimes comes up to haunt you. Think about that. Was it something that somebody said to you? Maybe a message you got from your parents, your grandparents, your teachers. Maybe it was a car accident you were in, or the loss of a loved one that you've never been able to quite grasp and cope with. Whatever it is, think of an experience in your life that seems unlovable. And think of that experience in this sea of love that we're in right here and right now. That love of God that's all good, it's all powerful. It's all wisdom. Just let that experience be in the hands of love and let it go. And then think of someone Can you think of someone in your life, perhaps, that was a bit unlovable to you? Think of that person. And just think of them too in this sea of love that we're in. And be willing to allow that love to imbue and surround and embrace yourself and this other person, knowing that love conquers all. Be willing to turn this difficulty you've had with this person, be willing to turn it over to the love of Spirit. And just know, love conquers all. And then think of a place or a situation in our world that you have a hard time loving. I'm going to say go ahead and think of a politician you have a hard time loving. You know, we all have those. Or a place in the world that is such conflict that when you think of it, it seems evil to you. A place or a person. And again, put that place or person in this sea of love that we're all in. We're all basking in that right here and right now. And become willing to turn that situation over to that powerful love, which is really all there is. Let that love imbue, surround, envelop this place or this person. And just know that love does conquer all things. And I'm going to ask you to stay in this state of meditation as I go into a spiritual mind treatment to close our message today. Just knowing that we have pierced that veil and we are sailing into the mystic. So just continue to relax as I remind you that there is but one power in the universe. And that power is the power of love and peace and joy and all good. That is a power of that has the solution to any perceived dilemma we have in life. And I know I'm one with that power. That very power that created everything is the power that experiences life in, through, and as its creation, in, through, and as me. Therefore, I speak these words with authority and with power. And even though in my humanity, I've tended at times to identify just with my body, my emotions, whatever is going on that's hard and fast around me, my flesh and blood, my conditions, even though I now remember the truth is my mind, my body, my emotions, my circumstances are not my real self, capital R, capital S. My true self, capital T, capital S. My intention is to penetrate that veil of separation between myself and my higher power. My intention is to experience oneness with that power within, to experience light and optimism and wholeness and understanding and forgiveness and love. In gratitude that as my word is spoken, it is done unto us as we believe. And I release these words now to the universe for perfect manifestation. So it is.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, it's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, a new day, a new life. Oh, I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River run free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. And I'm feeling good. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good, so good now, and I'm feeling good. Well, thank you.
Oh, that was fabulous. Okay, now is our time for conscious giving. And the part that's most important is conscious, because the giving is not to get. The giving is to give from that place of the heart. Yes, we know it all comes back, pressed down, multiplied, running over 100-fold, but the intention of giving, because it's all God, it's all good, and we are rich and wealthy in so many ways. We give from that place of knowing our truth, and so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you all. We thank We're thankful for the gifts, we're thankful for the givers, and we have the gift of affirmative prayer. Actually, spiritual mind treatment is what we have the gift of. And that is our gift to you. You can see us after the service. You can fill out a request. Those of you online can go online and put in a request. If there's anything major that you would like support of, let us know, and we can also include it in our weekly newsletter. Spiritual mind treatment is that opportunity for someone who's trained, who's been through all kinds of classes, to not only know your truth, but to know your truth to the degree that you have the ability to let it go. So that's the blessing. Announcements are short. In June, on the 15th, we are doing our first annual spiritual retreat. It's going to be held at French Park, which is in Plymouth, right off of Rockford Road. Yeah, off of Rockford Road. And it's quite a large park, but when you go in, you're just going to keep going to the right, and there's a playground, and we're going to meet in the building behind the playground. And it's going to be a really safe space. We've invited this community, we've invited a unity community to join us, and we've got quite the day planned. The morning is going to be all about embracing our authentic selves and being a little vulnerable because it is a safe space. We've got a wonderful continental breakfast we're serving in the morning. Registration starts at 9:30. Julie and Pete are going to provide us an opportunity to get creative with painting rocks, gratitude rocks, because gratitude really does rock. Yeah. They're cooking some good stuff up, and then so there'll be a long break for us to take to sort of walk in nature, sit or experience nature, and there'll be a binder with a lot of wonderful things to open your heart. And then we are going to close.
What was the date?
June 15th.
Okay.
Then we're going to have during lunch, we're going to have a nice long lunch break. And then we're going to close everything out with a Native American drumming. And he's also going to lead us in some chants. So it'll be a lot of really lovely energy. We're going to sort of go in. We're going to commune with nature. We're going to end in just a wonderful opportunity of sealing that heart space. So you can register on our website. And you can also register. I've got somebody cueing me in the back. You can also register on your phone if you have downloaded our church app. So there's 2 different ways to sign up. If you've got any difficulty in that, please let our treasurer know, and he will figure out another way. And it's going to be very fun. The cost is $30 until the end of this month. And I really hope I have an opportunity to see all of your smiling faces there, because it's just going to be, I don't know, it's time to open one's heart, right? And that's what we've got for announcements, except for Victoria.
Hey, everybody. Okay, this is just a quick announcement. So if you're enjoying hearing Carl and I today, we do have a gig coming up on June 20th in Cottage Grove for the Strawberry Festival. Yeah, we'll be playing on their main stage over there starting at 5, from 5 to 7. So mark your calendars, go, I guess, eat strawberries, and check us out. Our jazz duo, we're called Clover Club. So we do a lot of like 1920s, 1930s style stuff. So blues, jazz. Anyway.
Thank you.
June 20th in Cottage Grove. It's a Thursday night from
Yay.
5 to 7.
Cool. Maybe the Power of Decision class is going to get together that night. Woohoo, that would be fun. And then Anthony, our very own Anthony, is working on putting together some art and display in the Skyway of St. Paul, right? So he's working on it, and you will probably hear an announcement from him next week, yeah? Yep, next week you'll hear an announcement from him on sort of what that's going to look like and how we can swing over to St. Paul and take a walk through the space. So that's kind of exciting, our little creative producer back there. So that's exciting news. And I think that's all. Anybody got anything else for the goodness? All right. So I'm going to close this out. Joanne's going to pray us out. And then we're going to have some coffee and some snacks. Oh, you're going to sing us out. Did I not say that? No. They're going to sing us out with an original song. So, yeah, she's been busy. Okay, join me. Let us just take a breath and breathe in all of this incredible energy in this room. We are taking this love with us, and we're leaving a little bit of it behind because we have so much to give from that place of knowing whose and whose we are, which is the divine. We divinely go forth in our power, in our authentic self, allowing the world to see us as we truly are, allowing the world to celebrate us as we truly are, allowing the world to see how much we have to give as we truly are. And so it is. Amen. Reverend Joanne.
I'll leave you with this blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
You know what? Let's all stand up. In the night, in the night when doubt whispers loud, feel your rhythm break through the clouds. There's a power inside, like a river that flows. Say yes to the ride, watch wonderment grow. Ride the river of yes, let your spirit free. In the dance of your days, claim your destiny. Through the trials and the unclear, in the music of life, let melody steer. With each note from shadow to grace, in your soul's song, find your rightful place on this journey of life. Just say yes, yes, yes. Every ripple's a dance in the sea where the currents lead. You're meant to be as the tides move, and their endless embrace. Find the strength in the waves, your ocean space. Ride the river of yes, let your spirit free. In the dance of your days, claim your destiny. Waters flow where rivers meet. The power of yes, let your course lead. On the horizon, your life you'll see. In the heart of the river, find your free. And remember your own song is truly blessed on this journey of life. Say yes, yes.